Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. Welcome back to another live show. I hope y'all can, let's see, I had a little bit of delay there. Let me see. Make sure, okay, we're live now, great. Okay, so now we should have a strong, 1216 kbps, 2400 kbps. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're going here now. So welcome everyone. See a lot of, so anything that you choose to type, I can see here. So we'll have merchandise. Let's see, what am I going to put on here today for the merch? Hope the lighting's okay. I hope the network here, I shouldn't have anything uploading, so hopefully it's good. This is unsweet tea, in case you're wondering. I don't drink. Actually got a considerable amount of congestion. Can everyone notice, excuse me, I know, I'm afraid I've got a little bit of network congestion here and I'm not, okay, let's see if I pause that. That's not good. Device, let's do that. Let's go in and prioritize. And hopefully fix whatever is, let's see, prioritize. I should have priority on the network. Okay, yeah, this is going to clear it up. Okay, got the new lighting set up. Got a lot of improvements that are coming here. Fly Right Drone says, "What's up, sir? I love the content. I picked up the Mavic Mini, and I love. You've got something that's, that's so small and so lightweight, but you can recharge it by way of USB, which is huge." In theory, you can, because of the excellent battery life, I found with the Mavic Mini, a lot of times I'll take it out in the field and I'll only take the battery that's on it because I know that I can top that battery off with my solar USB battery bank. And if my battery from such a small package, so that's good that you love that you're loving the Mavic Mini, which segues us into the next thing is, there's a lot of talk on the internet right now, the coronavirus. I mean, there's a lot of unexpected challenges over in China right now. So we may see delay. When you've got a drone that's selling so well, why do you need to invest the time and resources to bring another drone to the market? I mean, you've got a drone that everyone else, and that's the Mavic Mini, because it's so small, it's so solid. It's still a solid performer. So that's, let's see, I'm checking some settings here and 2 megabits per second. Let's see, 720p 30. We're going to go down to a 1.25 with an H.264 and see what we get out of this. I'm not happy. Okay, so now I'm greened up and I'm going at 1.2, 717, 656. Just looking at the stream health there, so yeah, I think this is okay. So it's staying green so far. I want to get 1080p for my live streams, but again, being an independent YouTube channel and being on an extreme budget, and again, anybody that's watching, feel free to support me. You can super chat if you choose to do so. You can support my channel on Patreon, patreon.com/IrixGuy. And then one of the most basic ways to support the channel is just, tuning in and liking and sharing with others, subscribing if you haven't subscribed already, ring that bell, and then that way whenever I post another video, you'll be notified that I posted another video. So not going to turn this into into what they call a beg stream, begging for financial support for the channel, but I'm an independent YouTuber. I made the choice to remain independent, and I'm never going to partner up with a multi-channel network. I know a lot of people that have, and I know a lot of people that have really rapidly grown their channels by being part of a multi-channel network. But I'm one of these. I want to run my own ship, and I don't I don't want to have to deal with, we like this video, we like that video, but this is what we think would be better. I don't want that stuff. I want to grow this channel on my own and get to the point to where I've got enough growth to where I can continue to upgrade. I mean, the studio, that I'm in now is looking a lot better, I think, and it's in the bandwidth. If I can just figure out this internet connection without having to throw a lot of money at it, that's the problem, because I could easily get faster internet, but the thing is, this internet that I got, despite the inability to stream currently in 1080p, if this thing will at least remain consistent here at 720p, and that's what I'm hoping that all of y'all that are tuning in. I noticed a lot of people dropped out in the beginning, and understandably so, because I was having connectivity issues, and it's no fun to watch a TV or listen to a radio or watch a YouTube live event when it's constantly dropping connection. So I think this setting may be the optimal setting, and if I don't want to go down below 720p, because that's when you get into poor quality, but surely at 1.25 megabits per second for this 720p, surely my internet connection will be able to handle this. If it can't, then I'm going to have to explore other options for internet. But I don't want to do that, because I like to keep this operation as financially lean as possible, and that way that frees up a little bit of cash that I can use to invest in drones, invest in travel, things that will enable me to capture and then post really, hopefully, very cool content here on IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. So got a lot of people tuning in now. Appreciate it. Where's everybody dialing in from today? We got a bunch of concurrent connections. It looks like I've resolved the internet connectivity issue, because I've got a green light. Hopefully it'll stay green, and hopefully we won't encounter any more hiccups for the live stream here. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So, yeah, a lot of interesting developments again with drones. I mean, there's a competitor for DJI that seems to want to try to compete, Autel, and supposedly they're releasing this very cool drone. And I don't know, a lot of people have expressed interest in it. A lot of people have also expressed interest in the Skydio 2, but my fear is that the Skydio 2 is not. They don't have the production capacity to put enough out. Does that mean that the drone's really popular and it's selling out, or does that mean that the Skydio is simply hard to get because they hadn't produced enough? Maybe the demand's not really there. Maybe it's creating. I mean, I don't know. I'm just jumping to assumptions here. Maybe they've created the false perception of high demand, whereas in reality the production numbers may not be that great. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Have you owned a Skydio? Do you know anybody personally that has a Skydio? I mean, I've seen the Skydio videos on YouTube, but it's like most anything else, unless you've got your hands around a production model of a drone and you've taken it out in the field, whatever you might see on YouTube is not necessarily an accurate representation of how that drone may actually behave. And it's also not an accurate representation. It doesn't imply that drone is a production model. It could be a pre-release prototype model, as far as we know. So, it's, I don't know. I want, and again, we go over this and over this. I want to see somebody compete with DJI. But, yeah, let's, type your questions and comments in the live chat, and we can chat about whatever. This is not a scheduled live show. I just said, hey, I got the studio up. I'm going to get on the set and host a live show here. So one of the other cool things that I've got that I'm working on for the channel, obviously the social media workshops. Since I have this new studio that I've worked to refine, and I'm fixing the bandwidth issues. One of the big things I'm going to be bringing to the channel are a lot more social media workshops. And what these workshops will be, obviously they're free of charge, but when you join, people are encouraged to super chat, encouraged to support by way of Patreon. But again, it's not required. Attending is the big thing, because what I want to do with this is, let's see, we got Luddy right here. It says, for me, it'll take a while for them to show me that they're a real DJI competitor. Yeah, that's smart. it's like anything else, whether it's a drone or whatever product, when something's first released, there's often it's, this is a hot new thing because it's something new, whether it's a drone or a camera or some sort of toy or recreational equipment or whatever. Just because something's new or different, it's often perceived as, oh, it's awesome. In the case of drones being so expensive, you got to admit, and people come from all different, financial levels, but for most people, a drone is expensive. And even for people that are ultra wealthy, a drone's expensive because it's not a necessity. It's an item. For some people, it could be a business tool, but for a lot of people, it's just a really cool toy, a really cool flying camera. So drones are expensive, and to be willing, even if one's financially able to do it, but to be willing to jump in and say, oh, I'm going to throw X number of $100 or thousands of dollars out and just experiment with a new drone from a manufacturer that's, potentially their first and last drone. There's a lot of risk involved with that. So, I don't know. It's going to, like Luddy said, it's going to take a while for them to prove that they're a DJI competitor. DJI needs competition. DJI deserves competition. And hopefully DJI will receive competition sometime soon. Nate Sarog says, anyone take their drone to Israel? I have not. And I don't know. It's like when I travel anywhere with a drone, the first thing I do is, thoroughly research the destination. But knowing what I know about Israel, which is very little amount, but I do know that that's a pretty hardcore from a military perspective. That's a pretty hardcore place, and I think, and this may be an incorrect statement, but I think everybody over there, including women, have to enroll in the military, and they got really cool guns over there too in Israel. So I don't know. I bet the regulations over there are completely different. If I had to speculate, I would speculate that's probably one of those areas that if you pull up with a drone in your bag, that I don't know. Check with the authorities. But if there was a place that I would think would be funny when it came to drones, that would be one of them. Luddy said, I sold dozens of unique quads before I knew about DJI. Kind of sorry I didn't check out DJI years ago. Yeah, I'm same boat here, man. I was a late adopter. I started with drones, and it was after the Phantom 2 came out, and my first drone was the Phantom 1 because the price on it at that point had dropped enough to where even though it was still super expensive, I felt like, worst case scenario, this thing goes up in the sky, it crashes or it flies away, that's a lot of money lost, but it's not as much money as say the Phantom 2 at that point in time. So, it was a huge risk, but, like they often say, especially with trading stocks, risk reward. And the risk for me was worth the reward because I found a fascinating new hobby. I found out that, hey, DJI is ultra reliable, and, I was able to have a lot of fun, not just for myself, but on this channel. drones have been and will remain one of the core components of this channel. I started Epic Drone Show live shows. Also 400 or below, your source for all of your drones and drone accessories. I played with Unique. I picked up the Typhoon H, and that's the only one I've ever picked up, man. And then obviously I picked up the GoPro Karma and the Parrot Bebop and the Parrot Anafi, and it's just, it's not like I'm a DJI fanboy. It's just that, trying all these other drones, it hasn't been a positive experience. It's like, it's kind of like, let me think of a good analogy. So, I don't know. I just, it's one of those things. It's like you get spoiled by DJI, and it's like, well, there's these other options. But I think what we may see, though, due to, the coronavirus and all of that, we may see a slowdown in production of drones, especially DJI drones. And often when people don't have something new to play with, to tinker with, since DJI right now is just kind of they're just, hey, we got Mavic Mini and we've got Mavic 2 Pro. We don't really care to release anything else. So and they don't have any competition. So they're kind of at that point right now. So with DJI's not having any desire to release anything else, that may actually help the competitors or the wannabe competitors, because it can draw some attention to them. If something new's coming out that's not from DJI, people will say, well, when is DJI going to release another drone? Is DJI even going to release a drone in 2020? Or are they just going to sit around and sell their which is awesome, their Mavic 2 Pro and their Mavic Mini? So if a competitor or a wannabe competitor steps up to the plate and says, hey, I'm going to release a drone in 2020, I think that drone is going to receive, I think it's probably going to sell a lot better, simply due to the fact that that DJI hasn't released anything recently. So, at least you can get your paws on something new. You can tinker with it. Maybe it's not as good as a DJI. Maybe it is. If it is, that would be wonderful. But, show me a drone. Show me a manufacturer of a drone that has released anything that's stuck around. I mean, what has come out that is... Oh, remember, and we talked about this on a previous live show, that 3DR drone, the 3DR Solo. Man, that thing, they put some money into marketing that thing. They had a really good marketing campaign, but man, that thing crashed. And then GoPro Karma crushed it, and then GoPro Karma crushed itself because it was recalled due to potential safety issues. So, I mean, it's a wild world in drones. But, with the temporary lull in drones, something I want to do is bring a lot of tutorial content to the channel. So you may have watched my most recent video, which is how to photograph waterfalls. So something I want to do is go out and find topics of interest. Waterfall photography, for example. It's something that anybody, whether it's a low-end camera or high-end camera, if they have the means to go to and from a waterfall, they can snap photos of it. But when you're there, how do you get the best photos? You can snap a photo and it looks like drips of water, or you can really follow the shutter priority mode tutorial that I demonstrated, and you can go out and capture that photo so the water looks milky and white milky water. It looks really cool. It doesn't just look like a camera phone photo. So tutorials for that, that's something that I want to really hit hard. The other thing is just tutorials for day-to-day computer tasks. Like, I don't know if you use Nest cameras, but if you use Nest cameras, how do you... Something you may not be aware of with Nest is that they consume a lot of bandwidth. So something I did prior to this live show is I used my how to pause Nest cameras procedure, paused all the cameras so they're not continuously trying to send information to the cloud. So that's another tutorial topic. But ultimately, I want to get my hands on a new drone. I mean, there's just nothing out there right now. I mean, it's frustrating because when one of your core interests is reviewing drones and field testing drones, and there's not a new drone, I mean, it's disheartening. So, I gotta step up to the plate, guys. I mean, if you're out there watching this, if you've got the financial means to develop a new drone, you need to do that. Google, Microsoft, Apple, get to it. Release a drone. Stop sitting around and watching all the fun. Release a drone and, shake things up. I mean, DJI deserves competition. DJI does not just deserve competition. DJI needs competition. And for us to be able to find drones at lower price points, for us to find drones with better technology, it's going to take competition, because if you don't have competition, there's minimal amount of desire to want to create something new, to want to create something better, or to want to create something that's more affordable. But competition breeds innovation, and it breeds price wars. So, that's super important to be aware of. But yeah, I mean, we go on and on about drones. I mean, the bottom line is just there's not much out there right now. I mean, you got the Mavic Mini, which is awesome, and then if you want a professional drone, you got Mavic 2 Pro. That's it. There's nothing else out there right now that has captured my interest. Now, if you're watching this live show and you manufacture a drone and you're looking for someone to review it, that's something I would be interested in. Full disclosure, if I review something that I don't buy, it's going to be conveyed, hey, this is something that was sent to me to review for an honest review, and it will be an honest review. So if you choose to do that and your drone's not up to snuff, it's not as good as DJI, then I'll just tell you how it is. I won't just tell you how it is. I'll be out in the field. Okay, here's my hands-on with drone XYZ, whatever it is. Here's what I like about it. Here's what I dislike. Here's an opportunity for improvement. What's a drone that I would compare this drone to? Just a thorough in-the-field test. Nothing doctored up. That's the thing that really, if you want to get me irritated, one of the things that really irritates me on, and not just YouTube, but social media in general, blog articles, whatever, are people that review things. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, not a particular channel, not a particular host, but you can pick them out. You're watching these videos. I mean, they're edited to the T. They've got a product that's not even on the store shelves yet, and and they're just going through and demonstrating this, that, and the other. I don't like that stuff. I don't like the people that are posing to have a production product, and it's probably just a pre-release, and it's probably something that was sent to them or whatever. I don't like that. I mean, I like to keep things real, and part of keeping things real here is acknowledging that right now we don't have a new drone to play with. Yeah, I mean, Alltel supposedly coming out with a new whatever it's called. Podman says, hi, what do you think about DJI phone to drone ID remote? You're talking about the Podman. Tell me more. I'm a little confused by your question there, man. Be happy to try to answer. And that's one of the other things about drones are all the uncertainties surrounding the enhanced regulation. I mean, I think safety is a good thing, but as we know, with whatever it is, governments throughout the world have a tendency to, they start, they kind of reach their neck out just a little bit, start to slowly regulate stuff, but it's a slippery slope. Often something's regulated, it just becomes more and more heavily regulated, often to the point to where a lot of people abandon using whatever because it's just so regulated, it's such a pain to deal with. And why enjoy something that's made unenjoyable by government entities? So I hope that's something we never hit with DJI. I mean, not with DJI, but I hope that's something we never hit with drones, is a point at an international level to where drones become so heavily regulated that we can't have fun with them anymore. I mean, I'm a super strong advocate of drone safety. Again, I am the drone evangelist. Go to droneevangelist.com and you can check out my videos. I mean, drone safety is something that I feel should be paramount for everyone. Whether you're a hobbyist or a commercial drone pilot, doesn't matter. I mean, drone safety should always be at the top of anyone's list, because that's part of what leads to overregulation of anything, especially drones. And I think there's a lot of my assumption is that a lot of things that we see in the news, the media are all about creating a reaction and driving ad revenue. So there's certain situations that I'm convinced are created just to prompt overregulation. And I mean, I'm not going to point a finger at anything in particular, but I mean, one would have to be a fool to assume that everything they see on the news just happened the way it was portrayed by the media. the media are all about creating buzz, and there's a lot of fake news out there. So, just something to be aware of. But yeah, these live shows, I'm gonna get something a lot more structured here now that I've got the studio. And what's good about this, I'm watching, except for the beginning, this part of the broadcast, the bandwidth has remained strong. So I haven't noticed, and I hope y'all haven't, I haven't noticed any video or audio cutouts throughout the past 5-10 minutes or so. So that is an extreme positive. Luddy says, Luddy's 107 expires this month. If I had a buyer from a Mavic 2 Pro, I wouldn't renew my license. I'm very, very little drone business. That's a shame, man. I mean, it's something that seems, it could be such a huge business. I mean, I love the hobby, but I also love reviewing drones and, keeping up with everything. And it's a shame that you did that, and it's hard to drum up business. That is a shame. Luddy says, what really irks me is all these drone job brokers post up jobs that pay $75. Yeah, $75. That's nothing, man. Whether it's U.S. dollars or Australian dollars or whatever. Yeah, it's a tough. It's a tough industry. I mean, I think, for drones, one of the best ways to handle a commercial drone business would be to target things like realtors and that sort of stuff, or real estate. But then, because of the location of the various pieces of real estate, you're tasked with being the drone pilot. You've got to make sure that, and you'll probably find that a lot of real estate that's been sold is probably not in a permissible area to fly. And then you've got to go through file for a, at least in the United States, it's called a waiver. There's a lot of red tape. And, the bad part is, and, throughout the world, I mean, you'll see realtors and stuff. And I've approached, not confrontationally, but I've approached several of them, and I'm like, oh, cool, man, you've got a drone business. And you talk to them, and they're like, they have no clue what you're talking about, which is immediate acknowledgement. At least to me, it acknowledges that they don't know what they're doing, and they probably don't have the Part 107. So, there's all of those realtors, especially, that are trying to fly under the radar, and I mean, that's bad. That's bad for the industry, man. And see, the bad part is, a lot of them would rather try to fly under the radar than go out and pay someone like you that's a licensed 107 pilot to go out and do the job. It's just really it's frustrating. I mean, it really is. But yeah, I mean, I think it's still worth it. I wish that they would allow, for people that don't fly aircraft, traditional aircraft, I wish that they would allow people to renew online. Because having to travel and go to an airport and be locked in a room and take it, it's part of it, but I think they could make that a little bit more convenient, especially for people that have renewed multiple times. I mean, that's an opportunity for improvement, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting industry for sure, and I think there's a lot of commercial applications that people haven't even begun to realize yet. I mean, I know there are. But the thing is, if we get all of this overregulation before the industry can discover what all it can do, it's going to hinder continued innovation, and that's going to be problematic. Luddy says it's awesome if you enjoy flying for a hobby. I'm past that. I enjoy flying for paying jobs, but just for fun, I don't fly. Well, that's like anything else. If you do something professionally, if you do something as a job, it often is not enjoyable as a hobby anymore, which makes sense. I mean, why? I mean, here's the thing. I'm a capitalist. So why would I do something just for the sake of doing it? I mean, why? I mean, even, let's say somebody had 100% disposable income. For them to go out and buy a drone just to take out and snap photos and enjoy flying around would be, in my opinion, silly. Because I mean, there's no return on investment. You know, anything that I do, I want ROI, return on investment. So, you know, if it's a hobby, yeah, that's great. I mean, I love, you know, taking out a drone. Part of what I like is taking it out and seeing what it'll do well, what it does poorly, and filming YouTube videos. You know, YouTube for me is a huge business, but it's also something that's a hobby and something I enjoy. So it's kind of the exception to the rule. You know, I can enjoy editing videos, publishing videos, you know, coming up with scripts for videos, hosting live shows. But by doing this, yeah, I'm having a great time, but it's also a business. Would I do YouTube if it wasn't a business? No, I wouldn't. I mean, I enjoy it, but it's just not. Luddy says, Luddy applied for a nighttime waiver several times with zero success. Very frustrating that an unlicensed pilot can fly at night, but a licensed pilot can't. That's another thing. My closest testing center, Luddy's closest testing center, is 100 miles away. Yeah, that's a long haul to take a test. But I mean, you know, again, if it's something that can become a profitable business, you know, it's worth it for sure. And I mean, obviously, you know, doing the right thing and adhering to the regulations within your country is always important. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's let's see, the stream here is staying strong. I've got a little bandwidth monitor, and it's saying over 1,000 kbps, so that's great. Let's see. And the lighting, do y'all think the lighting in here is finally on point? I've put some blackout curtains up, and I've improved. I've upgraded the studio lighting in general. So I think I've finally gotten everything perfected. You may notice a little bit more echo in the studio now. I've got just a cheap hardwood floor, but it's changed the acoustics a little bit, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think it sounds better than the dirty dirty carpet that I used to have in here. So, you know, small things, man, small things. So, yeah, we just really need. I mean, if y'all know anybody in the drone business, drone manufacturing business right now, just need to give them a little kick in the pants and just be like, look, you know, get to it. Bring something out. We need something to play with. There's just nothing right now. And I'm sorry, I mean, I'm just not interested in, and maybe I'm wrong. You know, if somebody wants to send me an all-tailed review in the field, so be it. I just haven't been impressed with what I've seen. So, yeah, we're gonna get gonna get a lot of cool stuff here. I've got some more videos in the works. If there's any sort of tutorial topic that you'd like to see me address, you know, comment, post a message on my Facebook page, facebook.com/IrixGuy. You know, just tell me what you want to see, and that's unsweet tea. I don't drink soda or anything because it's so fattening. But I'm just drinking that, and I've got to hit up the gym, get pumped, get swole. Let's see. Yeah, so I mean, you know, we gotta bring some excitement out. I mean, it's 2020, it's February. Where are all the cool toys? You know, there's got to be some toys coming in 2020. Luddy says, no video or audio problems here in Kansas. Very cool. You got a lot of wind out there, though. That's for sure. Tornadoes and all kinds of cool stuff out there. Yeah, it's and I've got some cool stuff coming, so stay tuned. I just wanted to jump in for a few minutes and host a brief live show here. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so. youtube.com/IrixGuy. Ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. And feel free to support me on Patreon as well. You can find the link within this video's description, or just go to patreon.com/IrixGuy. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's